Hello you fiends, and welcome to another Whiskey review with me, the Whiskey Novice. Thank you for joining me for another review. We're still looking at some 12-year-old Scottish single malts, 13 of them to be more precise. And we're back to Speyside once again. Awful lot of them in this series, awful lot of them. But this one, maybe a little bit of a step up. Maybe, we'll see. The Aultmore 12, it's certainly becoming harder to get. I would say, have they discontinued this? Because it's just become ridiculously hard to get as far as I can see. The last time I looked on, it's pretty much the Dewar's website. This Speyside from the Dewar's. The very few bottles left and very hard to find elsewhere. So I would suggest that it's either been taken off their list, or because let's face it, there aren't an awful lot of Aultmores out there. Certainly not official bottlings anyway. So this one is a step up, certainly a step up from a lot of the Speysiders I've been doing in this series, in that it is non-chill filtered, there is no colour added, and it is bottled at 46%. A very good bottling. That's the, that integral, that's what we're looking for. That's what we're asking for. We don't ask much more than that. This is, I would suggest, Dewar's listening to us. However, yet again, the Aultmore part of the Dewar's, branding, what they have under their belt. This one, for the most part, Aultmore once again going to blending purposes. But this is a single malt firmly on their map at the moment. I don't know, is it going to hang around? What's the story with it? Expect to pay northwards, probably on northwards of £60, which I would suggest is a little steep for a 12-year-old, even bottled at £46 non-chill filtered, 46, even bottled at 46% non-chill filtered, no colour added. So let's get into it, shall we, and see what I think of it, and see whether it's worth that pricier price tag. Yeah. Now, this has changed. I know I'm only just over the shoulder on it, but it's been even so far, it's a little bit up and down. I found it very tight. It's been a very tight whiskey up. It's starting to release a little. Yeah, it is. It's still typical Speyside. Honey, yes. And I also generally add in honeysuckle, because if you smell honeysuckle plant, there is a different sweetness of it. I would throw it in there. The maltiness is there, the sweet, the fruity notes. That I talk an awful lot on Speysiders, and even in this, there's been an awful vein of this through these 12-year-olds of this series. Stone fruit, when I'm talking about stone fruit, I'm talking mostly about peaches and peaches, nectarines, that sort of thing, but there's an awful lot of pear going on as well. Apple, bright, fruity notes, crisp, clean notes, and the usual barley, sugar. The maltiness is there in the background, and this does take a while. It does show and go. I'm going to suggest, if once this settles in the glass, it tends to become very tight again. It takes you to sort of almost keep this activated, to keep it alive in the glass. But it's a good bright nose. But then once again, it's no brighter than a lot of those ones that I have been reviewing of late, bottled at 40%, and they've all had a fairly decent nose. It's been the palate that has let them down. In most cases, it's because it's been bottled at 40%. It's just been thin, it's been flaccid, it's been just, there's nothing there whenever it comes to the punch. So, all of those notes that would be expected of a Speyside, a decent Speyside whiskey, very much in place. Anything else to add? Not really. I mean, it's bloody good. It is a good nose. So let's see then if the palate backs it up. It's a bit lighter on the palate than I would have expected. I'm going to go back for a double dip here. Sweet and sour arrival, yeah. It's not as full-bodied as I would have liked it to have been. All of the standard, I can't say standard, but all of those bright, fresh, sweet, fruity notes are still there. And given a little time, it does start to show up a little more, but it's a bit lacking. It's definitely a bit lacking in something. It feels like as if it's promising something and not signing off on it. It feels like as if there should be more body. There's certainly an awful lot going on in that nose. All of those notes are all backed up, but the palate for me is just a bit thin. It's a bit thin and stops short of being great. And a little, or maybe more than a little, one-dimensional. A lot of those notes, the fruitier notes, yeah, as much as they're sort of there, they're all thin. Citrus added in there now, and it all just sort of, to me, rushes off into a relatively short finish. I'm going to add water. I'm not going to dwell there. I'll add some water and see what we can do to it. And it's 46%, so I'm adding quite a bit of water just to see what we can do to it. Yeah, 12-year-old malt for that price, and with those specs, I was expecting more. I was definitely expecting more. What do I expect of a Speyside? Well, look, as I've already pointed out, it noses like a good Speyside. Should. But then I went on to say that most of the even the 40%ers that I've reviewed ever, but especially so in this series because they're fresh in my mind, have all nosed like a good Speyside. Sorry, just getting chocolate longer into that finish. Yes, the finish is maybe starting to develop a little better now, but it took a while. So this doesn't necessarily stand out for the price. Now, drop of water. Yeah, there's more going on. Freshly cut ginger. It is quite a bold nose now. Oh yeah, most of the original notes are still there. Most of the typical Speyside are all still there, but I'm getting bigger notes of, as I say, ginger there, even almond. Yeah, there's sweet notes of variety, but they're all in there. And I would say the palate also improves, but not greatly. It does improve, but I don't know that. I still don't know that it's fine. I don't know that there's anything good about it. It's better than it was before, so that tells you how bad or how average the palate was before, and now it's just, yeah, literally pushing above average. This, once again, for the specs, I expected more. 46% non-chill filtered, no colour added. I still find it a bit lacking. I'll not replace this. No way. I know this. I know Aultmore 12 has its fans. This is the first official Aultmore I've had. I've had indies, and I also felt a bit the same about them. Found them a little one-dimensional. So I'll just wrap that one at that and say Aultmore 12 is a no for me. So there. Yeah, not only is it a no for me, even, you know, I found myself thinking after I finished there that it's hot as well, and that's with the addition of water, which to me generally will start to round off the finish and give that finish more flavour, give it, you know, some sort of objective and make the finish become something. In this case, actually, the addition of water, I think, made it hotter. So what I mean by hot, well, it's just heat. There's not an awful lot of flavour in that finish. It's just, so no, it's a no for me, the Aultmore 12. I know it has its fans. I know I'll not change that. But no. So what would I offer as an alternative? Well, this is one that I would suggest all day long, even though I didn't give it a great review at the time, is for me better than the Aultmore 12 for many reasons. It's the Balblair 12. Highlander, yes. Why the Balblair 12 then? When I reviewed the Balblair 12, I also remember thinking it a little one-dimensional. I know yet again it has its fans. And one of the reasons that it has its fans, 46% non-chill filtered, I believe no colour added once again. It was the price that Balblair 12 came out at. I remember Balblair 12 just being over the £40 mark. I think it was around about £43 a bottle, which is right for me. If that, now £50 a bottle, I'll push it to that. If the Aultmore 12 was coming in at £50 a bottle at that, yeah, yes, then it's a good bottle. Then that would have definitely pushed it up in my rating. But it's just not enough. It doesn't give enough for the price, in my opinion. Whereas that's the one thing that was one of the saving influences on the Balblair 12, on me, of the Balblair 12, Balblair, was that as much as I found it a bit one-dimensional, 46% non-chill filter, no colour added, 40, as I said, around the £43 mark at the time, that was a good price. So that redeemed it a bit, in my opinion. So if you've had Aultmore 12 and it was your thing, and it's because the Balblair, yet again, I would say it's probably around that sort of, still, yes, it's a Highlander, but it's still on that sort of feel, the sweeter end of things, the more barley sugar, that sort of thing. So it would, I think, be a good alternative for the Aultmore anyway. But to me, it's actually a better alternative than the Aultmore, or to the Aultmore. So there you go. No, just Aultmore 12, no for me. Just me. I know that'll not change opinion, probably. Thank you very much for joining me. Always a pleasure. Thank you very much to my patrons, should anybody wish to join that group. Details are in the video description below. Their support is very, very much appreciated, and always goes towards the channel. I'll be back the next time with this series is drawing to a close, but I'll be back the next time with another 12-year-old and maybe something else. Until then, look after yourselves. Here's to your good health. Cheers.
Hey, thanks for watching my video. Please click and subscribe to be notified of further content.